Hi, I'm Carmen, and welcome to this week's episode of Cooking with Carmen. As part of our mission to heal hunger, Operation Food Search teaches families how to cook delicious food on a budget. Thank you for joining for episode 23. Today's show kicks off our celebration of Black History Month, where we will be featuring favorite recipes and interviews with Operation Food Search staff and partners. So be sure to check back weekly on our social media pages. I'm so excited to have this first guest on the show with me today. Kristen Frazier is our Human Resource and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Manager. In this role, she is responsible for attracting, motivating, and retaining qualified team members. She also develops and implements our diversity initiatives here at Operation Food Search and the strategies to cultivate a supportive and inclusive work environment for all employees. Kristen has more than 10 years of experience in the human resources industry, and prior to joining us here at Operation Food Search, she served in various human resource managerial positions in the education and corporate sectors, including corporate hospitality, consulting, and manufacturing. I'm so excited to have her on the show with me today. Welcome, Kristen. She's muted. Kristen, you are muted.
I'm so sorry. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Carmen, for this opportunity. I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to talk about Black History Month, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and of course, food at Operation Food Search. So this is a great way for us to have transparent and open conversation and food to connect with conversation.
It is so true. Food really is a way that people and our community can come together.
I agree. And I'm glad we're celebrating Black History Month at Operation Food Search. I feel like it's not often recognized enough in general. So I'm just really thankful for this opportunity and that we can have this conversation today.
So to dive into the questions, can you tell us a little bit about what food was like when you were growing up?
Oh my gosh, it's so different for me now, honestly. So growing up, it was a little different. We had what I would call struggle meals, right? So my dad was limited on time and money. And so he would just have to come home and throw some things together like tuna helper, love tuna helper, have nothing against it, but that was our struggle meal in the house. So that's what it was like growing up for me.
And I think a lot of people might relate to that when the term struggle meals in terms of time, money, resources.
Yeah, a lot of my friends and family I know can. I'm sure a lot of people from different backgrounds can relate as well. So yeah.
So when I heard what we were going to make today, I wanted to do like a little healthy spin on transforming the traditional tuna helper of your childhood memories into something with ingredients that you really enjoy now and with some nutrition packed in. So today, since you mentioned that you love salmon to me, I'm going to make a light lemon garlic pasta with seared salmon.
Oh, that sounds so good.
So first, I'm going to gather all of our ingredients here. So I have fresh salmon. I have the skin on. This recipe, you can also use like canned salmon or leftover salmon, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. We have some whole wheat pasta, fresh spinach, and we're going to make like a light broth-like sauce. We have some chicken broth, some garlic, lemon juice, and a little butter and olive oil. Definitely helps with this dish as well. So to start, I'm going to season our salmon fillet here while I get my burner heating up. So I just have a little bit of salt and cracked pepper, and the salt really helps draw some moisture out of the fish so it sears really nicely. All right, so we have a little bit of salt and pepper, and we're also going to dredge it in a little bit of flour. So this will help thicken our sauce as it comes together. All right. And now we're going to add into our warm pan here about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm really bad at this. I really never measure olive oil. It's not a science in this step. And then 2 pats of butter. So about 2 tablespoons. All right, so then I'm going to have to wash my hands after I get the salmon in here. So can you kind of share with us like a little background of some other foods that you grew up enjoying, or maybe some foods that you now enjoy today?
Yeah, absolutely. So growing up, I love just spinach. Like, it sounds so weird as a kid, but I did. And one of the things that I always think about when it comes to my dad is that although we had that struggle meal or tuna helper in a box, he always made sure that we had something green to go along with it. So I'm really thankful that I was introduced to spinach because that was my favorite, although I just like it fresh now. So, but yeah, that's what I love.
Well, it's a good thing I'm putting some spinach in our recipe today.
So excited.
All right, so I have a clean plate here. So basically we're going to cook our salmon for a few minutes on each side. And I know that you mentioned to me that you like your salmon like a little like medium rare, so it's not like completely well done. So I have that in mind today as well while I am doing that. So we're also using whole wheat pasta today. So I have it cooked already. Normally the first step is you'd be cooking the pasta while you're making the sauce here. But I have it cooked already. And what I like using whole wheat is like you're really sneaking in some more nutrition with the whole grain noodles. It's an easy way to do like a healthy swap from a refined carbohydrate of the white pasta to our whole grain pasta. And it helps keep you full, energized, and delicious as well. All right, I'm gonna flip this over. Can you hear the sizzling on your end?
Ew, it sounds so good. Mine doesn't sizzle like that, so I need to figure out some skills from you.
So it's nice to have a nice high heat so it doesn't stick to your pan here. And then it also kind of gives an easy way to get the skin off. So since this pasta, we're not eating the skin on it, I still like to cook with the skin on. It imparts a lot of great flavor, helps keep the fish held together while you're cooking it. And it scrapes off super easy after. All right, I think it smells really good. It's almost like the butter is like turning like a little brown, so it's like a little nutty. Smells good. All right, so I'm adding some fresh spinach into our recipe today. What I like to do with fresh spinach, and since we're waiting for our fish to cook, now is the perfect time, is I tend to like rip it up into little smaller pieces so you don't have a huge piece of spinach when you're diving into your plate. So it does cook down. This is a great way to get kids involved. They just simply like ripping it in half. Or you can have it on a cutting board and you can cut it up into little thin ribbons. And it helps kids too that they don't have to eat a whole leaf of spinach. They might be more likely to try it if it's like a smaller piece in the dish. All right, sounds like our salmon's about done to the temperature of your preference. And mine as well, I should say. So I'm going to take the fish off. I'm going to leave the skin side up so we can get the skin off. But in the same pan, we're going to make our sauce in here. So we're going to add in our garlic. So it's about 3 cloves, finely chopped. Add in our lemon juice. So I just squeezed about a half of a lemon. Ooh, it's very sizzly now. And then about a half a cup of chicken broth. And this would be a great place to use like the low sodium chicken broth. All right, so while that comes up to a simmer, we are going to take the skin off of our salmon and it simply like peels right off. Super easy. You don't need any fancy equipment. Usually I'll use like a little knife, but forgot one. And then I like to remove a little bit of the darker salmon from the center here. All right, back into our skillet it goes. And this is where you'll take your spoon and kind of break it up a little. My spoon isn't strong enough. And this is where we want it into like bite-sized chunks so it tosses really nicely with our pasta. Smells that lemon and the garlic. This is a great recipe.
I'm jealous I can't smell it.
We'll be able to smell it in just a few minutes. All right, so we have our salmon kind of broken up a little. And now we're going to add in our spinach into this step. It's basically what it's to steam up with salmon. And it goes, and I put on the recipe about a cup, but really it's up to you. And you can add other vegetables, like if you like peas, that'd be really good in this recipe, or mushrooms. Make it almost like a spring-like pasta dish. Or if you're using like heartier vegetables, You can always saute them with the salmon earlier on, like some onion, bell peppers, really any vegetable. Zucchini would be good in here. All right. And then really the last step is dumping in our freshly cooked pasta. Again, it's that whole grain pasta. I'm going to stir it up. And if your dish is not brothy enough, so we saved a little bit of the pasta water. And this is where you could add some more of that pasta water, but it looks perfect to me. All right, so while that finishes simmering, I do have one more question for you. So when you think about Black History Month, what comes to mind for you?
Oh my goodness, so much. I really, first of all, think about how Operation Food Search doesn't discriminate. We talked about food insecurity earlier today and how I could directly relate. And I love that Operation Food Search provides so many different programs so that kids nowadays can have opportunities that I didn't even have growing up, and now they can be educated through our programs. But even for me personally, I'm really grateful that I've been afforded the opportunities that I have been, maybe that my parents and my grandparents haven't had. And, for me, that's being in this position, being able to have a conversation, about Black History Month, even with you and on the show. And I'm really thankful for that. And for me, it's intentional. So in my role, I plan to, recognize what the inequities are. And I plan to tackle those things and to give the same opportunity to others in the Black and Brown communities that my parents and other people in our community didn't have. So that's what Black history means to me. It means a whole lot. And I think it should be recognized and celebrated often.
I love that. So I like thinking like the past, but also the present and the future as well. Personally, what I strive to do is celebrate the diversity around me, as well as asking questions or like listening and learning and supporting my community and moving positively towards the future.
I love it.
So it looks like our pasta is done. So I'm going to plate it up here. And then you can garnish it really with whatever you'd like. So like red pepper flakes would be like a little heat. Today I'm going to do a little Parmesan cheese.
Oh my goodness, my favorite.
So good. And then also in your sauce, if you do like it a little creamier, so I know like Tuna Tetrazzini is like a creamy sauce. You can add like a tablespoon or two of like heavy cream and it would make it like a lemon creamy sauce. But here is our salmon pasta, and it smells so good. And I love the pops of the green in there.
And it looks so good.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show with me today. I really had a great conversation with you.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed being here.
Well, I'll see you in a few minutes and we can enjoy this for lunch.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed today's episode that kicked off our celebration of Black History Month. All month long, we will be featuring favorite recipes and interviews with Operation Food Search staff and partners. So be sure to check back weekly on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Remember to like all of our pages if you haven't already, and comment below if you have any questions or if you made today's recipe. Visit our website to learn more about our work, and I'll see you back here in 2 weeks for our next live episode.